There has been the possible sighting of a fighter jet in the Mars atmosphere. The possible fighter jet of some type was captured by the Curiosity rover now on Mars. The image was taken near the Mount Sharp region just before sunset on the Red Planet. The images to follow are directly from NASA, and point to the possible existence of a secret space program using military-style aircraft in the atmosphere of Mars. This is the original image before zoom. And in this image we can make out two distinct shapes in the atmosphere above the rover as it took this image. There appears to be an object moving over the rover in the upper left of the image. And the object appears to be in pursuit of a second object just to its front in the right mid area of this photo. In this image two distinct shapes can be seen moving from left to right. However, the second object seems to be moving upward and away from the other object in the upper left of the photo. In the next image the two objects will be outlined without zoom. This is the same image with the two objects outlined. This is the same image again, with some zoom, although the image is unclear, revealing some kind of craft or military type aircraft moving in the atmosphere over the rover. The object is about 5 or 6 miles from the rover, moving at approximately 2,500 feet, and it appears that the object could be breaking the sound barrier in the Mars atmosphere. The sound barrier on Mars is 1/3 slower than on Earth, and is approximately 251 miles per hour, and approximately 4.18 miles per minute on Mars, which is comparatively slow compared to Earth. This is that same image, and the object can clearly be seen overhead with some contrast added, and some lowering of the brightness of the image. The object becomes easier to make out as it moves in the distance over the rover, and no Photoshop was done to this image. In this image, there appears to be a cloud forming behind the craft as though it would be breaking the sound barrier as it moves through the Mars atmosphere. The cloud that is forming behind this unknown object could be obscuring a tail section and possible engines that may be hidden behind the forming cloud as it breaks through the slower sound barrier on Mars. However, the cloud is thin enough to see some protruding structures to the rear of the object. The unknown object of some type appears to have two tail fins, one above on the rear section of the fuselage, and another smaller stabilizer fin of some kind, attached below the airframe of the ship or craft. In this image the tail section is outlined. to show its possible position on the object. The outline here making it resemble a fighter jet of some type. The outline was done matching exactly the blurred position of the possible tail fin seen in the previous photos. These two frames again, to show a possible tail section on the object resembling a fighter jet of some type. You decide. The next frame shows another possible shape of the object. This unidentified object spotted over Mars by the Curiosity rover very closely resembles a fighter jet, with the possible addition of a second stabilizer wing attached to the bottom rear of the object. The additional wing would allow more aerodynamic control in the thinner Mars atmosphere. A second object was captured in the same image moving upward in the mid-right of the frame. This object also resembles a fighter jet. However, seems to be more advanced and thinner and more aerodynamic in shape, this second object using a V-shaped wing at the very rear of the object, a wing shape not normally used on Earth. This is the original image from NASA. And you can see a second bright white object in the mid-right of this frame. The object appears to be ascending or climbing to a higher altitude to possibly escape the pursuit of the first object. This is the same image with some contrast added, and the lowering of the brightness of the frame to bring out the outline of the object and its shape. In this frame the object is circled, to make it easier to see its shape as it moves up and away from the other object. In the next frame the unknown object's shape is outlined, to bring out the possible shape of its airframe or space frame. In this frame the object's shape is revealed, after the airframe or space frame has been outlined. We can make out a highly advanced unknown craft of some type, moving through the Mars atmosphere over the rover, the craft using unknown wing design. The next frame showing the path of the first object as it is in possible pursuit of the second bright white object. The second object moving out of the frame and away from the other object at possible high speed. There has also been sightings of other objects in original NASA footage, that have been captured by the rovers on Mars. The next images show 3 possible UFOs, also moving above the rover in the distance. It is possible that these small lighted orbs could be stars, however the rover's cameras may not be sensitive enough to pick up stars or record this amount of brightness, making them appear larger than stars and possible UFOs in the Mars atmosphere. In this image, 3 distinct orbs can be seen over the rover. As you can make out in this image, 3 distinct orbs of some type can be seen in this frame, although resembling stars. Why would stars appear to be so large if using a camera designed to photograph topography? Right now there is no explanation as to what these objects are, or what they would be doing around the rovers now on Mars. However, I have discovered absolute proof that aliens once inhabited Mars. I have a single image that I have received from NASA in October of 2017. This image confirms that aliens were once on Mars in the past. When the fundraiser is completed, I will release an authentic original image directly from NASA here on my YouTube channel, and on my websites. This incredible single NASA image proves that aliens once inhabited Mars, and is a real image. The image has not been altered in any way and no Photoshop was done to the image. To see this conclusive proof that aliens were on Mars in the past, please visit my fundraiser page. Just click on the fundraiser link in the description below.